heaven in a man. And that heaven is your spirit. That's where now the whole cabinet that you lead, that God is seated and talking, all that is taking place in human spirit. There are other people here that are seated here. What they carry, that's the reason why in Colossians the Bible says, invisible and visible throne. Okay? And that throne that is visible is a man. But that man, visible throne, is not like you see him from outside. It's a tabernacle, it's a throne tabernacled in his spirit. And there are matters, it's a judgment seat in him. That if you try to take any matter and it gets into his spirit, it will find a sentence. Yeah. The reason why certain people can walk into certain other people's lives and remain the same, because their spirits are thrones. So if you find an access, it's just like you see, for example, do you know there were times that Jesus walked in the places and never healed anyone? Okay? But the Bible says in many places that Jesus healed everyone. Everyone. In other words, there was no way a sickness could enter into the throne of this man and it goes back without a sentence and judgment. So there were other people now who didn't recognize. They didn't connect to the throne of the person. And because they did not connect themselves to the throne of the person, they went back the same. But no matter that entered into the throne of the person remained the same. And you are here, you are seated here. That there is no way that any issue that God has put a throne in you can be left without a sentence. Where there is no judgment or sentences, because those matters have never gotten into, or they have never been presented before your throne. So you may be meeting them, but the day they will realize that you are not just who you are a throne here, they will take advantage of the throne that God has set amongst us, and they will find a sentence and a judgment from the heavens. Yes. That's the reason why when God is communicating certain things, you need to understand on this subject that if God now has put a throne on a man, if he has put a throne in you, he will judge you now. You will be judged because you are a judge. I will say it again. If God puts you a throne, he has actually put all matters under your feet. So the judgment that God will judge you, he judges you as a judge. That's what you see in Numbers, in Psalms 82. Put Numbers 82. Why are we talking all these things? You know, there are times when you can tell that the people that are gathered there are people that are very important. They are honorable people before God. Because in the spirit, if God does not want to do much with you, he gives you the language of a child. It's in Isaiah. He says, I will withdraw their judges and their magistrates. And if I withdraw, if I take away the magistrates and the judges amongst them, I will give them children. It's not like you will see that there are kids now that are leading you. No. The very same man will be thinking like a child, will be talking like a child. That's how God does it. But the day the Lord respects people, he raises honorable people to talk to him. Counselors and judges. I think there is a message on that. You said it on YouTube. Restoration of counselors and judges. I ever spoke on that. Restoration of counselors and judges. God stands in the congregation of the mighty. The mighty there are judges, which are called gods. And you only qualify to that, not to everybody. We speak that and we think everyone is a judge. No. Every judge has got a court in the spirit. And the court of every judge is defined by the throne that God gives to you. And you see that some of you, your throne is a healing. Some of you is wisdom. So because you have been given the throne of wisdom, every foolishness that comes to you, find a sentence. Some of us, our thrones, this is a court we are manning in the spirit. And our court is possibly prosperity. And that's the reason why, regardless of what we do, it prospers. We don't prosper because we are blessed. We prosper because we are judges in that area. Because we carry the throne. There is no way poverty can still stand before the throne of prosperity. So we are not just there. It's not the blessing that is actually on us. Now you are making me to say something else. Do you know how many times Jesus called himself blessed? He referred himself blessed. None. Not even once. Because that's a kindergarten realm. Never did he say, I'm blessed. You know we say, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. No, he never said, I'm blessed. He says, I'm a son. These matters are in my hands to judge. So he's not operating as a result of a blessing. The matters are in his hands. God has committed them to me. So if it matters in your hands, you don't leave anyone to determine how much you want. You are the one to determine how much you want. Check in the scriptures. So we start from a blessing. It's okay. I know you want to be blessed. It's okay. Be blessed. But you see, when you become something in God, you realize that you are empowered to sit as a throne, as a judge with a throne in that area. And when you sit with a throne in that area, you are not going to let anyone, you will not wait on anyone to determine how things should be done. So he says he judges among the gods. Judging there is judging the gods. And the gods there are also judges. God there is coming as a judge because he's dealing with the judges. I want you just to see this. He identifies himself because of what he's about to do with the people. He's Elohim because he wants to leave dominion. That's how he does it. The very first introduction of God, you find out he introduces himself as Elohim. Elohim deals with the power and authority and dominion. No wonder the next thing, he gives man dominion. If he comes as Jehovah, whatever, it's because of what he's about to do to you. It's his revelation. He comes as a judge because he's dealing with the judges. Are you getting this? So he goes down and says, look at this. He says, how long will you judge unjustly? Who is he talking to? The judges. You see, when you're given a throne, you'll be judged because of what you were handling, how you were handling the throne. How were you living poverty when you had a throne of prosperity? What were you doing to leave sicknesses when you had a throne of healing? You knew that God has given you a throne of healing, and yet you are doing nothing with it. He will come down and say, he says, can you see? He says, you are accepting the persons of the wicked. It's you who is accepting it. Because you are doing nothing. And he goes down and say, go down. Let's do very fast. Defend the poor. He says, you have to defend the poor and the fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and the needy. You do justice to the needy. Defend the poor. Because that's where I put you. He says, go down, go down, go down. Deliver the poor and needy. He didn't say, I'll come and deliver. You are a judge. Deliver the needy and the poor. Rid them out of the hand of the wicked. At this level, you enter in a city and you announce, your time, devil, it's over. Because I'm here now. It's not like I'm going to pray. No, I've arrived. I have arrived here, and I'm going to lead the people out of your hands. Your arrival is the case settled. You're not just coming as a preacher. You are going there because you have gotten something from God, and it's with you. And you know these matters are in my hands. Father, help us. Help us. Help us. And he says in verse 5, he says, they know not. The people that I'm talking to, that they are judges, they know not. Neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness because no one has told them. All the foundation, can you see that? Because of you failing to know what you need to do, the foundations of all earth is out of course. And you're complaining like every other person, but you don't know it's just because you are not doing what you're supposed to do. And then 6, he says, I have said you are judges, you are gods, and all of you are the children of the Most High God. But you know what? In 7 he says, but you shall die like any other man. You die even the things that you are supposed to tell it. No. Don't be in Zingwangwa from today. Don't be in the house from today. I rise here as a man that God has raised. And these matters are in my hands. And I will never let anyone in this house to go astray. No one in this house will suffer as long as I'm here. And that's the reason why if you come to that level, you can even, when you speak from this point, you know that God has given to you. You are not just talking. You are stopping the matters. You are not a beggar. Imagine you go into a court and you have a case. You want to present it to court before the judge. And the judge is begging you. So, the judge doesn't know his power. Doesn't know his power. And this is my cry and my burden, that we do these things. Yes. You find your sport, at least in something. Rise to a place where you know you are an authority. You're a man that God has called.